Hello and welcome back to Jack Knives Reviews. I'm of course your host, Jack Knives, and welcome back to Jack-O-Ween, Flesh and Soul. What happens when science and faith fight each other for the fate of all mankind? You get John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. A group of graduate students and scientists uncover an ancient canister in an abandoned church, trying to crack a code to open the canister, unknowingly containing all of the evil of humanity. As science and faith go head to head, so too must humanity and pure evil. I made no qualms about the fact that I love John Carpenter. He is not only one of my favorite directors of all time, he is just a master at filmmaking his craft. When it comes to horror specifically, no one is better. And this is a movie that I feel never really gets enough love or praise as much as it should. Sure, you have non-stop, endless, rightful praise for Halloween and The Thing, yet Prince of Darkness seems to stand alone in the long catalog that is John Carpenter's resume. It took two characters that are very similar in style and how they're presented in respective movies to basically battle it out. One representing faith, played by Donald Pleasence as the priest, and one representing science, with Victor Wong playing Professor Burak. Seeing them clash in styles back and forth, all with the extremely creepy Alice Cooper representing the evils of mankind. Giving it intensity without actually ever speaking, I don't believe. It plays off of the what you don't see is more terrifying aspect that a lot of horror films don't ever really utilize proper. It's interesting how they present faith and science as not necessarily battling against each other, but two opposing pillars trying to face a bigger threat, namely being the canister. A canister. Think about that. The idea of evil, or the devil, or what have you, being represented as a liquid. It sounds silly, almost, but then you gotta also remember that God has been represented as the sun, as light, as life, as oxygen, things that science explains and yet faith also explains. So why is that so bizarre for so many people? Well, because we've never really seen it before. So obviously, a lot of people discredit this movie. A lot of people kind of look down on this movie and don't really get it. If you really take the time to watch this film, you'll really enjoy something very different than what you're expecting. The only downside to the movie, I believe, is the time in which it was made. Normally, when you think of 80s horror films, you think of big special effects, big intensity, craziness, and gore galore, and practical effects. And yes, there are some of that, but not as much as you would think for this kind of a movie. But it is a great movie for what it did. And I do think it's one of the most underappreciated films in John Carpenter's resume. It is a great movie if you give it the time and you give it the appreciation for what it is, and try not to look so much under the surface and a little more in just what it is, accepting it as it is. I would like to believe that this movie will eventually get the cult-like respect that there now is for films like Halloween 3 and Night of the Creeps, but that's up to you to give it a chance. Come back next time to celebrate Halloween proper with a true king to show us the way. Till next time.